Good morning. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. We're going to talk about the mystical meaning of Mother's Day in a little while. And first I'd like to let you know that in your programs you'll find an I am statement. And this is something that we'll read later together. And the importance of this statement is great power. When we speak the words of truth to ourselves, we set something in motion on the invisible planes to work for us. So we'll be reading that later. The whole essence of our teaching is spiritual mind treatment, which is a metaphysical tool that we use. Again, it's a scientific tool to set into mind consciously that which you want to create, and it is very powerful because it's very true, and it relates to the original cause of creation, where it says, and God spoke the word, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. So the entire process that we cover in spiritual mind treatment is the actual scientific process of how we bring into form anything in a perfect sequence of divine order in our lives. And we are always using this form, but until we become conscious of it, what happens is, because of our unconsciousness, we are creating that which we don't want to experience. So spiritual mind treatment elevates us consciously and allows us to use this law at a maximum level of conscious knowing. Also, the wonderful thing about spiritual mind, working with the spiritual mind, is that we are always moving in a sequence of advancement, increase, multiplication of our good, understanding that the universe, the nature of the universe, is to express itself in this way. So we link our treatments, our conscious knowing, with that natural, invisible movement, sustaining movement of the universe. And of course, there's always great things made manifest in our lives, like increased abundance, increased well-being, the great oneness. So this morning, we're going to be talking about the perfect principle of divine love. And especially this morning, we're celebrating Mother's Day, a great day which honors and brings to our attention the perfect principle of divine mother love in action. We are celebrating our own mothers individually, recognizing that through them, infinite love operates for us. And we are also celebrating the great cosmic mother principle, who holds each one of us in her embrace, who is the nurturing and prospering principle of our lives. We are celebrating the great feminine, the laws of love, as they operate through each one of us, male or female, irregardless, as Carl Jung said. This feminine principle is always functioning through us as us, to the degree that we understand it. So in Science of Mind, we talk about divine mind, or spirit, being the idea, the choice, the word, the directive force of all creation. Spirit, God the Father, who spoke the word of the idea desired. Let there be light, and there was light. Now we are going to look at the great responsive feminine principle, the creative, receptive principle of invisible God stuff within us, within all of life, that energy which fulfills the word of spirit and carries the word, the idea, right out through to perfect form. And this is Divine Mother, who responds to us, to Spirit, the world of our ideas. This is that creative force within us that brings all things through the invisible womb of creation out into completion. You know, I know you guys have heard this statement. Behind every wonderful man, there is a great woman. And we don't understand often the full import of this. So, in thinking of the laws of creation and how we, the inheritors of the kingdom, can use and do use this principle, which has been bequeathed to us to operate our lives by, think in terms, if you will, think in terms of childbirth. Spirit, the masculine, the idea, going forth in us and joining in our consciousness with creative principle, the great feminine, the soil, the nurturer, who carries the child, the idea, nurturing it, embodying it, sustaining it, bringing it through to that point of perfection where it is the right time that it emerges as the light of form. So you see how the two principles of the one being, which we call the law, God, infinite spirit, the great I am, the workingness, the sequence of the workingness of the principle. So then there is the birth of your idea, just like a child, fully formed and wonderful. And all this is, understand, this is the one mind operating within itself, upon itself, to produce right out of itself that which it desires. So that's why we can say, whenever we want to manifest anything new in our lives, that treatment is independent of conditions, that our treatment or our statement of good for ourselves needs nothing on the outer, needs nor person, place, nor thing to come forth, because it is born of our conscious knowing. And then the thing shows up in the outer merely as the reflective, responsive aspect of the universe, showing us what it is that we have been dwelling upon, what it is that we have been thinking upon. So we say, where does my money come from? It comes from my consciousness of money. Where does my love come from? It comes from my consciousness of love. I am it, I embody it. And therefore I give birth to like kind in my experience. And also, as you know, as with any great artist, painting a canvas, writing a poem, thinking a thought, with any great artist, the work that comes forth must carry the likeness of the originator, right? So all of us are divine beings, come from this one infinite, magnificent power, and embody everything that it is on every level, including the way that it operates, all its principles. We carry on the great sequence of that which is in, through, and as the expression of our lives. Okay, so did you know this? Because the great leap comes in your life when you recognize that you are the form of perfect spirit, perfect light and love made manifest. And you are absolutely that which it desired to bring into being And you, to it, are its perfect idea, its perfect principle and pattern and idea made manifest, unique, divine, fantastic, beloved, great. So herein lies the great truth, to realize that you are formed of resplendent divine stuff, birthed of the infinite first, then through our parents, etc., etc. But your origins are high, high at the beginning and complete. And so you are one with the beautiful, unlimited Father, Mother, Spirit that is. You are divine and perfect, lacking nothing, having everything in your own unique field of charisma and energy. So you may turn to the great kingdom of your cosmic legitimacy, your home, your lineage of unlimited good, and ask for what it is that you desire beyond conditions of the moment, and divine Mother Love shall be that force that brings it through for you, her beloved child, the first of the first. And you are hers, divine beings, forever, for you are eternal spirit of the same stuff. So now let us look at this perfect principle of all-abiding love, the all-embracing presence, this perfect pattern of unlimited love, and see what it or she or our great cosmic mother is always doing for us and will do for us and more if we shall just understand what we are and if we shall ask. She is, just like your own mothers, even at the level of limitation, all mothers have this undying energy regardless of whatever is going on in their lives. She is all caringness, all givingness, all providing, the providing law, the way and the means to our good, all nurturing, always and ever thinking in terms of you and your benefit, moving silently before you in the invisible light to make sure that your way is enhanced. She is intuitive, responsive, sensing the need of her child before it calls. You know, just this morning, I got here a little bit late. Actually, we know there's no lateness. Anyway, the van was stuck, you know, and we're supposed to deliver all this stuff, and it didn't start because of the rain. So we called AAA, and it's a half an hour later and 35 minutes, and I'm treating, and no AAA. So I just released and said, well, okay, if I have to take a taxi, I take a taxi. Then along comes a very handsome-looking couple, a man and his wife, and they come over to Michael, and they say to Michael, Michael didn't even ask for help. Said, you need a jump start? Said, oh yeah, that would be great. So the guy disappears down the street and comes back with this tow truck, you know, with all the equipment you could ever need. And so we got started, and so we were here. So this great principle moves in advance of you and always knows and has ways and means beyond our perception. So it responds to us. It brings what we need. And I know that you've all experienced this. Every one of us experiences this in our lives. But the most important thing in bringing it into power and recognition for ourselves is a recognition of how often this is going on, so that we can keep our gratitude lines open and recognize that when that beautiful man and his wife showed up with a tow truck, that was God in action on your behalf, doing the thing that you needed for you. So she is intuitive responsive, sensing the needs, and she is infinitely connected to you. You know, I think of my sister. One time my father was having an operation, had a hernia attack in the middle of the night. And I got up in the morning, I says, "Where's Dad?" "Well, he's at the hospital." So then my sister and my sister told me that she had a dream that my mother was telling her that my father had an operation and had to go to the hospital. So my sister, I was sleeping through all of this, but my sister got up in the middle of the night, you know, and was there with my mother and accompanied her during that process. So you see how this connectedness, and when you're very close to someone, you know how it is. You know, before they ring your doorbell, you say, "Oh, that's so-and-so." Or you're thinking about someone and they call and you say, "Oh, I knew it would be you. I was just thinking about you." So imagine the intimacy of this connection that we have with this great power, and it's available for us to use. Okay? So she is answering. She is on call for you. And no matter what you have done, how far you have stepped out of alignment, how miserable the life may appear at whatever moment, her abiding love and appreciation for you has never changed, has never diminished. She cannot remember your mistakes, can't even think in terms of them, yet only rejoices in you, seeing and knowing that which is wondrous in you. And she is infinitely hopeful about you, for she can only see her radiant self where you are. So she is. The principle is all forgiveness, perfect, non-exclusive, all forgiveness entirely, divine and perfect, unconditional, unchanging love, absolutely, knowing no time when that love can be shut down, not favoring one over the other, yet loving and appreciating all. You know, there's a story in the Bible, about the laborers in the field on one day. And so the owner of the lands, they were coming from the early morning, and he was paying a certain price for the work. And later on, at about 9 at night or something, the last laborer drifted in, and he would work like about 3 hours, whereas the rest had been working all day. And so the owner, gave him the same amount of money as the rest. And there was a little bit of a stir-up and people wondering about that. How can that be? We've worked harder, longer. You see, but infinite love doesn't know the difference. It only cares that you've arrived. Okay? And it's the same story with the prodigal son, which I'm sure you all know that, he took off and asked for his portion of the inheritance, and he took off and had a great and wild and time, spent all his funds, and ended up in a kind of lowly job, coming from a very high position. And he had a recognition. He said, "Well, what am I doing? I guess I don't really want to, and I'm kind of embarrassed, but I think I ought to go back to my father's house." So he gets back to the father's house, and the father rushes out to meet him, puts the beautiful seamless robe on him, and brings him in to dine at a beautiful banquet. And the other son, who has been there, priding himself on his good behavior and being the good son, can't fathom this action of love. But you see, love doesn't know punishment. Love doesn't know to make you feel guilty. It only knows to welcome you. So this principle will always go before you to defray difficulty for you, to stop the action of punishment which is unjust, to stand up for you, like the kid, who runs away from school or whatever, and the parents called in, and the parent gives glowing notices about the child. There's just that instinct that if the being has not broken universal laws, because of course we know that, we have to experience the effect of our causes, but love can move before you to smooth that way, make the way easier for you, and definitely not to permit false criticism or denial to come your way, regardless of whatever. There is no reason whatsoever that you should ever be denied any good whatsoever. So it is the nurturing principle, actually embodying and showing up as those rays or lines or sequence of continuous outpourings of financial, emotional, physical, mental, spiritual support. All the support you need for whatever it is that you're undertaking and more. Lavish, wealthy supplier, having all. So as a babe gets its nurturing direct from the mother, so we metaphysicians, when we recognize the truth, we know to go to our direct line of supply from the great principle of supply, the providing law. And we know that this direct line of supply, that our own mothers, our fathers, everyone, everything in this universe is living direct off the energy of this great supply. Call it love, call it light, call it whatever. So that's why we say we are never dependent on a particular channel or person. The one line of supply works through channels, persons perfect for you at a particular time, and then may shift its course. But the line of nurturing supply continues and goes on and shall always be perfect for you, choosing the next right channel. So when we realize this, we become free of those agonizing pains that we go through when we think that we're dependent on one thing. You've had it, we've all had this. You have a job, the job goes. You say, oh, I'm done for. This is it. A love goes, oh, there'll never be another love from this, for me forever. And we're in great remorse and despair because we have not seen the truth that there is always movement. So now when supply moves from us, as Ratanya said so wonderfully a little bit earlier, we let it go. We bless it. We thank it. That was God in action. God as person. God as whatever for us at that time. We give thanks for that at the time that it was and how perfect it was. And then we move immediately to open to the greater and the more, to come to us now and deliver to us what it is that we need right now. So it is our all in all. She has all we need to prosper us, is our help when needed, is in touch with us, has always been there and shall always be here for us eternally. And remember, Divine Mother, lacking nothing and being very straightforward, will never play games with us of withholding or denying or punishing. And this is something we have to clear up, that there is some force moving against us. There is only one power, and it doesn't know about playing games with you. You are precious and important to it. For she is love at the perfected level. And where there is love, there is no denial. And so we must know this in relationship to our great universe that we live and move and have our being in, that we move freely in. We must know this. And when we can cast aside our suspicions and doubts about ourselves, about the nature of our universe, and all that remorse that we carry around with us, all of which is born out of human limited experience, when we shall be able to throw that aside, we shall really realize I never need to doubt my perfect source ever again. It is perfect, it is continuous. For it is completeness and constancy and wonderful itself. It is really mine, no doubt about it, and permanent as permanent can be. And it has always operated for me. I recognize this now. Say it to yourself. I recognize the breath that I am breathing is from the infinite supply. And so too is everything else that is the follow-up. I call it divine follow-up. You know, now would divine beingness create you and then just abandon you and leave you to flounder around? No. Did it create the planets and say, planets, pick any course you want and good luck? No, it didn't. This divine order, divine nurturing, that is the life force moving for you. So we recognize, I see now, it has always operated for me, and it shall always. And I feel now a depth of appreciation and awe and lovingness as never before. Okay, so what else about this principle? It is very interested in you, very interested in your well-being. It would like to make sure that you have more than enough, for it has complete surplus. Like to make sure that you are happy, rich, realized, free. I think you go like into an Italian restaurant and have a meal, right? And there's this, that energy is flowing over, it is, well, have you had enough? Do you want more? Everybody's had their experience. This comes to my mind. And all mothers have this tendency. But so we're talking not just in terms of food for ingestion. We're talking about that lavish impulse of the universe. What? Only one job? How about 10 offers? How about a multitude of loves? Right? So she's interested in the well-beingness of all things physical. Now we know that there is no physical and there is no spiritual. There is only the spiritual showing up in form. But we call it the physical, the relating to the sustaining things in our world. So she is, let's say, the law governing the physical, Mother Nature, governing the replenishment, the order, the activity of nature, Mother Universe, governing the order of our spiritual well-being. And she is feeling this. Whereas spirit we associate with the mental planes, the activity of mind, the idea. I got the idea, the light bulb character, right? The feelingness is that which carries the idea through. We've said it is this, the feelings clothe the idea with form and empower it. So she is feeling this. And when you love someone, how you feel about them. Well, imagine, we are just, through our individual lives, we are actuating this energy of love with our intimate and personal and loving connections. So this great love is streaming through us, which we are bringing out in our lives. So this great love is constantly pouring, it's sustaining light upon you, in you, as you, through you. This great love cannot be contained completely in singular person, yet is in everything. Every person, place, thing, every good in your life is a form of this divine love made manifest. So always things, persons, places come and go. There's great flux and movement in the universe. But always behind is this sweet cosmic mother smiling through. So recognize when love, when good comes to you, that is the divine love in action for me, sustaining me, nurturing me. So she is that great presence you feel in silent hours of peace, also in active, busy times, the thread that carries you through. When you sometimes feel that you can't, and then suddenly you link into this great charge of infinite energy that takes you completely through to do what you need to do. So this is the responsiveness, responding to you, the feminine principle of feeling this. She is also the force of liberty. She is love, she is protection. She is what you need when you need it. She stands guard in the high place, holding her love light over all creation, as in the mythical Pallas Athena, who was a watch person at the gate. She guards the walls of your city. She is also divine adjuster, balancer, harmonizer through the feelingness, unifier of that which is divided. You want to know what's solving all your problems and your arguments? This is it. This is that force within you. You know, I think of the symbol of Aquarius with the woman, you know, in the picture, you know, pouring the waters of spirit out upon creation, nurturing all of creation. So, this is a principle that not only embodies and carries the idea of good, as in childbirth, but delivers the goods. Gives birth to the perfection of spirit mind. And she is richness of feelings. In our highest feeling life, when we are unified with that principle of love, all we can know is love, bliss, peace, joy, harmony. And this is our divine essence. It is who we are. And so when we're working on creating anything, if we will bring to whatever it is that we desire, let's say, you know, we want a scholarship, let's say we want a great job, let's say we want whatever it is that we want, bring this great essence of your being, surrounded with consciousness of love, truth, abundance, harmony, that it is created in harmony and perfect peace, for the enrichment of not only yourself, but everybody who is impacted by this action of whatever that you are doing. And you will be so dynamite in your business. You will be so powerful because you are working right in the law of the reality of our being. To the degree that we are not operating this love, we are out of principle. We're like a discordant note in the universe. And though we can create things through force, through pressure, through will, it takes a terrible toll on us. Terrible toll. And has a terrible kickback. It comes back to harm us eventually to the degree that we have forced our will upon someone or something. So this is why we say, let it be. You know, great creative power. This is what I have in mind. Okay, I know you're going out there to do it for me, and I would like it to be this way. Perfectly harmonious, absolutely marvelous, totally loving, in ease and peace. Everyone, everything being one. Everyone prospering and advancing because of this connection. And it will always come, and it will always be great. Always be great. So she is the great unifier, drawing all together in one heart purpose. One heart, one mind, one love. When, you know, taking the, during the bicentennial, I took the Staten Island Ferry. I get very thrilled, you know, when I look at Lady Liberty in the harbor and I think of the magnitude of the meaning for us, you know, having that right here in our harbor. And so, you know, I was on the boat and a couple of persons came up to me and they were telling me stories, you know, about their grandparents who would come over and, you know, and there was so much emotion about that. So that, you know, great light of love and freedom and liberty and all good is like right here, right in our harbor. And look at the consciousness that's brought to our city. So again, here's like where we have outpictured a part of that abiding principle of protection of that which is sacred, you know, that which mankind holds sacred. So she cares for all her children alike, simply because they are hers, seeing only what they are to her, able to let go of the rest. It is very good for us, through meditation, through recognizing the truth of the universe, to recognize this great creative principle working for us always. In meditation, give gratitude to it. Give gratitude to that good it has already produced in your life, and the more that it's busy about right now. Maintain your invisible connection with this source of what is made manifest for you. You know, the first time I recognized this, I mean, I've always had a spiritual leaning. You know, I've always known these things, right? But I went through my aloneness, my pain, you know, my feelings of separation and not understanding. And I can remember the great moment when I was just like in a lot of feeling alone, feeling apart. You know, regardless of whatever I'd done in my life and all the outer stuff, I still had this sense of such aloneness and not feeling that cared for. And I never understood when people would come to me at that time and say, "You are a child of the universe." I said, "Yeah, I guess that's so, but you know, I really don't feel that." And something, I guess it was some type of illumination, I realized where I originated from. I realized that if I took my lineage back, you know, through my parents, and then what before them, then what before them, then what before them, I would inevitably come to the first cause, the original all and the all. And I understood that I am one with God, that I am God's beloved child first. And so from then on, I have never had that feeling of apartness, not ever again, regardless of whatever was going on in my personal world. So this love is the great arbitrator, harmonizing division within and without. And it sees through the eyes of perfect love the perfect value of each that it is beholding. I'll just say one other interesting story. And I don't know where it is. Some natives in some country somewhere have a very, very great thing that they do. One of my practitioners in training told me about this. And when they have, in their legal system, when they have dissension, okay, the two parties will come and bring their problem to the governing figure. And so the governing figure, rather than saying, "You are responsible and you're fine," it always solves for the mutual benefit of both. So one guy comes up, and the other guy had built his fence on his potato field. So he had some potatoes. I guess his crop wasn't so good, and the fence was out of anger. The other guy, broke down his fence. So there was damage in both areas. So the arbitrator said, "I want you to go with him and plant those seeds with him, those potato seeds, so that he's going to have a rich and great crop this year. And you, with the potato field, I want you to go over there with this guy with the fence, and I want you to rebuild his fence with him." Perfect adjustment. Perfect adjustment, right? So the law knows that the two must become one. The two must become one in perfect law. And all that is asked of us is to stop hurting and denying ourselves and all others everywhere. We are asked to carry on the perfect activities of divine love in, through, and as the measure of our life. To harmonize wherever we can, as fast as we can. To rejoice in our great connectedness and oneness with all at the perfect original point. To extend our grace and bounty and forgiveness and unfailing support to one another, absolutely regardless, so that we love her, his creation, ourselves, and all others in it. Recognizing that we, whoever we are, wherever we are at, whatever it is that we are doing, we all hail from the same land and origins of limitless love and good. And she shall shower her blessings upon you and have great gifts and surprises awaiting. Just like the perfect tow truck showed up for me this morning. Who cared? AA couldn't make it? AAA couldn't make it? Too bad. So, you shall be gloriously surprised the more that you consciously move into this perfect stand of love and freedom with the bounty of infinite spontaneous nature of good, with the bounty of the perfect law of reciprocity that returns to you the quality of your knowingness and your beingness. So one with the universe, in the great cosmic mother, we are all one with all good. So let's just try a short meditation now so we can specify this understanding. So let us go within. And right now, let us contemplate our heart's desire now. Something very special, very meaningful to us that we are working on. And let us say within, great divine mother, providing law of love, I do desire this now. I know that you know it is very important to me. I know that you love me immensely, for I am yours. And oh, how I love and appreciate you, your great powers. I am so honored by thy majesty. Thank you for delivering to me this great good now that I desire. Right now, I give you my complete trust, O perfect principle of creation, knowing how wondrous and resplendent you are. And I promise to ever abide in perfect love and faith and harmony and consciousness of your magnificent, unfailing power and support of me. On high and foremost in the light of my consciousness, your magnificent wonders are on my mind. Thank you, Infinite Mother. I am even now experiencing, within and without, the full breath and birth and realization, absolutely, of this good right now, by thy grace in perfect right ways and means. It is now gloriously so, and so it is. Also, here's time where you can fill out your spiritual mind treatment requests. So I encourage you to write out in present terms, I have, I am, what it is that you would like to experience. And we will do the power of your words. When you speak or write your word, you have great power. You are actually activating that universe of creation to move for you. So would you like to read the I am statement? Okay, so let's read this together now. Recognizing that we are speaking our word and that this must produce perfect results. I am that I am, and right now I declare I am one with the sublime, the unlimited, the infinite, and the all. I claim my kingdom of greatest love, joy, wealth, health, happiness, and success right now as I draw upon infinite reservoirs and lifelines of good. My great cosmic mother knows me and loves me, always showering me with her blessings of forgiveness and freedom and release. She keeps me free, always showing me the right, lightest, and easiest way to expansion and perfect increase. Her light ever burns bright before me. I love her, and she loves me, and we shall never part. We are one in all, perfect and complete. I rejoice in the special good she now brings forth for me. Oh, she has won me once again with her fantastic majesty. Could devotion ever be so sweet? Thank you, Mother Mine.